Konnichiwa minasan. What's up, everybody? Not a whole lot going on this week. The Budokan DVD sets that you guys, I know a lot of you guys have ordered them, and you're just waiting for them to arrive. So congratulations, guys. Hope you guys enjoy those. Also today in Japan, it's Suzuka Nakamoto's 17th birthday, so I'm pretty sure everybody's wishing her a happy birthday. I know I posted on the page. Happy birthday to her. I was gonna wear my Sue Metal Christmas special shirt, but fortunately I had a lot of things going on and I forgot to put it in the wash, so I had to go with Babymetal today because she's the only clean one that's in the laundry. So, like I said, not a whole lot going on. So I thought I'd do a little bit more um, in-depth Babymetal history for me and how I came to be this huge Babymetal super fan that all of you know me as today. First off, it started in third grade. Um, I snuck home early from school one day and thinking nobody was going to be home, but to my surprise, my father was there, so I had to hide inside behind a door for a few hours. And while I was hiding, he was listening to his Kiss Destroyer album in the garage, and I was listening to the music as a way to pass time. And God of Thunder from Kiss came on, and from that point forward, I was like so intrigued by this sound. It was like nothing I ever heard before, and it really sparked my interest, and I really wanted to get to know more about this heavy sound. I mean, as a kid in third grade, God of Thunder is probably like one of the most heaviest things you can hear at the time. So uh, right after that, my cousin had actually stole a CD from his mom, and we were listening to it, and it just so happened to be "Ride the Lightning" from Metallica. And from that point forward, uh, I was pretty much hooked on. Uh, I wouldn't say metal. I mean, Kiss is more like rock and roll, and Metallica's thrash metal. But it really opened up. It really opened up my mind to exploring these different types of genres of music. Being from South Texas, hip hop is well. I don't know if it's hip hop, but DJ Screw and all that stuff that was really popular for everybody when I was growing up, and never really understood it. Never really got interested in it, and here I am at the age of 26. Still, I don't get it. Never have, and I probably never will. But I'm fine with that. Um, yeah, by the time I got into middle school, I was really into new metal. I was really into Slipknot, Cold Chamber, Manson. I was a really big fan of Manson. I was a fan of Korn, but I really wasn't into Korn too much. I know I had a few of their albums. I think I had Issues, Follow the Leader, and maybe Life is Peachy. But Mudvayne, I was really into Mudvayne. Il Nino from Mexico. Um, yeah, just really like that really new metal sound. It's not very hard to play. Just things like that. And by the time I got to high school, I um, had pretty much grown out of that. I started listening to more melodic, more complex style playing. Killswitch Engage was really big. I think Killswitch Engage paved the way for a lot of the other bands that I eventually grew to start listening to. But if you rewind the clock a few years, when I was about 12 or 13, I actually was right around the time that I really heard idol music for the first time, or J-pop, and it really kind of intrigued me because I'd always, ever since I was a kid, I'd always been this really into Japanese culture and you know just pretty much just the country of Japan. Movies, music, food, just everyday ways of life. Because I was a huge fan of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which eventually I found Sentai Gokaiger Rangers, the Japanese uh, squadron, the Japanese version of it. And of course, I've always been a huge Gojira fan. Ever since I saw Godzilla for the first time, it was always something that struck my interest. So of course, I was like, he's in Japan, like. So I've always had this interest in in Japan, and back in that time, internet was not what it used to be, and I didn't have access to the internet. I was very technologically impaired. I was more of a go outside and skate kind of kid, But I heard idol music, and I really tried to find out more about it, but of course, without the wonderful internet that we know and take for granted today, that was very hard back in those days because I didn't have any kind of access to it. But anyway, back to where we were before. High school, I was listening to a lot of more melodic, more heavier, more complex sounding stuff. Killswitch Engage, Parkway Drive. I Killed a Prom Queen when Ed Butcher was the vocalist. As Blood Runs Black, It Dies Today. Early Avenged Sevenfold. As I Lay Dying. Uh, you know, and I was just listening to that. There was a lot of new groups and a lot of new acts coming out at the time that it did, kind of reinvent my love for metal because I wasn't listening to Slipknot as much anymore. I kind of gave up on the whole Korn thing. Cold Chamber was no more. Dez went out to do Devil Driver. So pretty much the new metal scene was pretty much dead. It was gone. Um, but I was listening to a lot of the new acts coming out. All Shall Perish. Um, Cradle of Filth was getting more mainstream. That was about the time they sold out and entered your local Hot Topic stores. But I was listening to a lot of that, and there was a lot of new acts coming out that were sounding a lot different than the ones before them. So of course it was like you had something new to look forward to, and it was original sounding. It was good. Um, a lot of original material coming out, and that went on for a few years, and then of course, um, after a while, it really started sounding the same, and I was losing interest in it. I couldn't deter one band from another one. I don't know if it was an older band or if it was a new band that just got signed, or it was really starting to blend together, and I started to lose interest in it really quick. So instead of looking forward to the new stuff coming out, I kind of just stuck with what I knew, and just the bands and stuff that was, and then not only that, but the stuff the bands I would listen to was coming out with too was very unintriguing. I didn't find it very interesting. I dropped off some bands along the way, and it really sucked. But on the plus side, this was shortly after high school, so I had the internet. I had my access to anything and everything I wanted to. So I started looking to Japan, and I started listening to a lot of Bloodstained Child back when they were more of like a cyber goth sound instead of the metal sound that they are today. Some early Kiba, but Kiba, um, some Crossfaith, just stuff like that. And at the same time, I was able to look more into the idol music portion of it too. Started listening to a lot of Kyuto and Morning Musume and a lot of like the AKB stuff. Very scarcely though. It wasn't major, but I did listen to it quite frequently, and I came across uh, a three piece idol group called Karen Girls, which of course at this point we all know as Ayami, Suzuka, and Yuika, and they were still, you know, they were they still had their thing at that time. Uh, it was still functioning, and I listened to them from whatever I could find. Wasn't that much. It was scarce, but whatever I could find, I would listen to. And after that, of course, they disbanded. Ayami and Suzuka went to Sagaraku, in which I, in turn followed their career because I was a fan of them in Korean Girls, and they got picked to be the starters of this new idol group. So I started listening to them, and then of course, not too long after that, they started doing the subgroups, the subunits: Pastel Wind, Logica, Sleep Peace, Mini Pati, and Babymetal. First off, I didn't really pay too much attention to the subunits. None of them. Just I didn't catch on right away, I guess, and I heard Babymetal the first time, and I wasn't exactly a fan right off the bat. I was slightly reluctant to determine whether or not I was a fan of this right off the bat because I mean not that it hasn't been done before. I'm pretty sure it has, the whole mixing of the idol and metal genre. It's never been done before on this type of scale. Like um, but at first I was like, it's a cool idea, but I don't know if this is gonna catch on, and you know, I don't know if I want to mix the two genres together because that might not be as intriguing as it might sound at first, but I didn't completely disregard it. I kind of just like I'll go ahead and put you off, with the other subunits while I listen to just Sagara Kuin as a whole, and just as time went on, they started releasing, more promotional videos. There was a couple of fan-made live recordings on YouTube. Um, they were being interviewed by uh, I don't know if you guys ever heard it, Otaku vs. Zero with Patrick Macias and Yu Asakawa. It's a web show that they used to run. I was a big fan of that. Just being taken around Japan and interviewing people, and I think they interviewed Kiari Pamyu Pamyu, and I'm a huge fan of hers. So I saw that they interviewed Babymetal, and I was like, well, let me check this out. And I saw a live video of Ine, which was very obviously lip sync. But then again, this was very very early in the days of Babymetal. This was back in the day when Sue used to wear the twin tails and the red plaid jacket and the knee-high red and black striped socks with the baby doll shoes. Um, but like I said, I didn't completely just disregard it, and eventually I started hearing more and more buzz about this Babymetal. So I started looking more and more into what I could find, which at that point was very scarce. But I started looking at some of the live performances, and I saw one at a Tower Records event. It was a very small venue, and I believe that might have been the first time I heard Ichiban. But then again, this was a while back, so you have to excuse me if my memory's a little fuzzy on that. But after I heard E.G. made them is a thing the first time, I was like, okay, I could seriously get into this. This is awesome. This is kick ass. So a little bit of time went on. They started, again creating more and more of a buzz for themselves, more of a name. I started seeing them more and more often, and I at this point I was a fan, but very very scarce material that I could actually grasp and really really give a good listen to, and then of course they generated enough of a buzz that they started putting out the music videos for E.G. Main, the unofficial Uki Uki Midnight, Megitsune, and stuff like that. So I had those to my disposal, but I was like, I want to be able to own this material. I don't want to, have to go onto YouTube to look it up, which at this point they weren't on iTunes yet, which sucks for me. But it was tough for a while because I had to YouTube it every single time. Every single song I had to YouTube separately. And then one night I decided to try again. I had a couple beers. I was laying in bed. And I was like, man, and try and see if there's any Babymetal on here, and I clicked in Babymetal on iTunes, and the whole catalog came up at the time, which was pretty much everything except for the actual album, because it hadn't came out yet. In fact, I don't know if it was even announced yet. But I bought everything I could, and I had, I at least had that. So I was listening to it all the time because I had it, I owned it now. So no more YouTubing or anything like that. I had my headphones in at work, or if I'm on the back porch, drinking some beer, barbecuing, I had it playing. If I'm sitting in the room and I'm bored, put it on the iHome. Take it on road trips. Did a 6-hour drive from my home here in Maxwell to Louisiana to go on a gambling trip, and Babymetal the whole way there. But at this point I was able to purchase their stuff off iTunes, so I did that. Then just had that for a while, and then a little while after that, the first album was announced, and everybody was saying there's gonna be some new songs, and there's gonna be some new songs. Well, it turned out there was 3 new songs. I think the music video for Gimme Choco had been out at this point. I don't remember. I just remember I watched this Yui Metal compilation video that somebody had compiled together, all these clips and pictures of Yui Metal that I guess they thought were worth keeping, or worth putting in a video in dedication to her. And the audio for it was a very early live version of Gimme Choco that I heard. And I was like, I have their entire catalog. Why can't, why don't I have this song? And Death, either. Babymetal Death, I didn't have that one either. So I went and MP3 searched it, and I found them and downloaded them. So I had Gimme Choco shortly before the album came out. And then, of course, there was a Kumino Rondo and Fornuta. So at that point, I just had to wait for those 2 songs to come out, because I had already, I already had the ones that I already had every other one, including Gimme Choco. So just waiting for the album to come out, get those songs, and I just got this awesome new job. I was gonna quit my job before that one. So when I went into my second interview for this this new job that I was gonna get. And they said, well, you got the job. You start this day. It's like, okay, cool. Leave the job, immediately just go straight to the tattoo shop. From the time I walked in the door, I still didn't know what I wanted. Very, very impulsive. All I know is I wanted to get a tattoo, and with a couple of modifications done by the artist at my request, I got my Babymetal tattoo, and after that, I was like, okay, well, I already have a Babymetal tattoo, so it's not gonna make that big of a difference if I get another one. But besides, I had this terrible tattoo on here that I wanted covered up really badly, and with the shape of the Iji made the Mezetai little kawaii knight covered it perfectly. So a few weeks later, after the Babymetal had healed, I went and got this one, the Iji made the Mezetai kawaii knight. But yeah, after that, not a whole lot was going on in the world of Babymetal, except for their album came out and everybody was buying it and was jumping up the charts. I had already had all the songs on there, so instead of paying like $15 to get the whole album, I only paid like $3 because I was only getting like 3 or 4 songs. Uh, so that went on for a few months, and finally in about early June, rumors were spreading that with the release of the album, they were going to do a world tour, but nobody confirmed anything. Somebody had just said it one day, and everybody was kind of on the edge of their seats, just kind of walking on eggshells, like, is it true? Is this happening? And sure enough, in late June, they announced that they were going to be playing in the U.S. on July 27, 2014 at the Fonda Theater in Los Angeles, California. 3 minutes after it was announced, I saw it, and from 3 seconds after I saw it, I determined that I was going to be in LA in July. So that happened, which LA was probably hands down my favorite Babymetal experience. Mainly because it was their first show in America, and it was my first time seeing them, and nothing ever really beats your first time in more than one aspect of your life. But after that, flew home from LA, kind of bummed that they were still in the country and just touring, and I was just like, well, I mean, I want to see them again. I found out their last show with Gaga before they went to Heavy Montreal in Canada was going to be in Denver, Colorado. So, bought tickets, flew to Denver, Colorado to watch them perform 4 songs. They performed 4 songs. I flew from Texas to Denver, Colorado to watch 4 songs and then leave because I'm not too big into Gaga anymore. But after that, came home. I was like, okay. I saw their first show. I saw their last show. They're in Canada right now. They're gonna go back to Japan, and they're probably gonna let the girls rest up, and probably not gonna. They're probably not gonna come back anymore this year. In fact, I was quite confident they weren't gonna come back this year. So I felt like I was accomplished. Like, I saw their first and last show. Yeah. And it was shortly thereafter in Japan when they announced that they were coming back to the United States and the UK. So, which was awesome because due to my flights to Hollywood and Denver, I managed to accumulate frequent flyer miles that pretty much paid for the whole flight to and from New York. So pretty much the only thing I had to focus on was the tickets, which of course, upon hearing the VIP was being announced, I went with VIP as much as a lot of you may know, because that's where we met and hung out and spent the entire evening losing our minds in that line. But yeah, so that is pretty much my history with Babymetal. A lot of the smaller details are a little bit fuzzy, and there were a lot of times where months would go by and nothing really happened or no announcements were made with with the band or the group. It was only up until this year that they really started making, really started making an impact, and you started hearing about them more frequently. Before this year, there really wasn't much to report on other than if you had the music, you listened to it pretty much every day, and that would go on for months and months before you'd hear anything about them. So, but definitely this year was really when they started, frequently making headlines and news, and being discussed in the States, and you know, like I said before this year, they really weren't making any kind of major headlines or anything like that. So you know, it was mainly just more of an explanation of my behalf as opposed to theirs, because I'm pretty sure at this point their career speaks for themselves, and I've just happened to be fortunate enough to follow their career from then till now, and even further more so. With the whole episode 3 Metal Resistance coming out next year, um, just gotta keep your eyes open for anything and everything that may hint that they are coming back to the United States, and that's pretty much all we can do from here. And of course, a lot, like I said, a lot of you guys got your Nippon Budokan DVD sets. Can't honestly say that I've ordered one, nor can I say if I'm going to order one. I already have like 6 concerts worth of material, both purchased and personally recorded. So I've pretty much seen the live performances. So maybe save my money for the next concert, and that's pretty much it. So I know this video is running a little long, but if you're still watching it, appreciate it. Lets me know that at least somebody's interested in knowing a little bit more about me as a fan, as a friend, and as a creator of the page. So until next time, guys, go listen to some Babymetal, and maybe next week I'll have something more interesting to discuss. But see you.